All right, my friends, today we are going to be drawing a saloon for Jack and Annie's Ghost Town at Sundown. So, a saloon is a building where people would, like a restaurant, where people would go and eat and drink and maybe sleep upstairs. And it's on the cover of your Jack and Annie book, so I thought it would be really cool if we took a moment to draw one of these. So, because it's a building, we are going to be using a lot of rectangles and squares. Don't worry if your lines aren't super straight, just do your best. Now, what I want to start with is the line at the bottom. So, near the bottom of your page, we want to draw a nice big straight line across. And we want to turn this into a rectangle. So I want to go up a little bit past halfway. Okay, I'm leaving some space at the top, and I'm going to do the same thing over here. Now you can see Mr. Poulis's lines are not perfect, and that is okay. So next, let's turn this into the rectangle shape just by drawing that line at the top. Now I want to come in a little bit and do a line halfway between here and the top, and come in a little bit on this side. Now come in a little bit on this side and come in a little bit on this side. A little bit more, but I'm leaving a nice gap in the middle. Up, up. Now I want to make a triangle shape here. So I'm going to make a dot at the center, and I'm going to connect down to this side, and I'm going to connect down to this side. Don't worry if yours doesn't look perfect. This is a little bit hard to do. Next, let's do like a longhorn skull. So at the top of the shape here, we're going to do, let's see, like a small letter V and a rainbow down and a rainbow down. So now it kind of looks like a seagull flying, right? Sometimes you draw them like that, really small in the sky. And now I'm going to hook this back up and hook this back up. Come down and follow that shape. Come down and follow that shape. Now I'm going to make a bump on the left and a bump on the right. And I'm going to connect them with a tall letter U, like, oh, I guess it's not that tall, but a letter U. An oval on this side, an oval on this side, and a little triangle at the bottom. Now underneath that, let's make a wide rectangle like this. And we're going to write the word saloon. S, and I'll give you plenty of time here. A, L, O, O, N. And to make it look like a Wild West font, a Wild West text, that's like the type of letters that they use, here's what we're going to do. At the top of the S, give it a little line. At the bottom of the S, give it a little line. At the top of the A, give it a little sideways line. At the bottom of the A, give it two sideways lines. At the top of the L, give it a little sideways line. The bottom of the L, give it an up and down line. We're going to skip the O, we're going to skip the O, we're going to move to the N. 2 little sideways lines at the top and 2 little sideways lines at the bottom. And there's one more really cool thing that we can do to make this look even nicer. We're going to come to the A and do just a little, like these tiny little triangles or these tiny little dots on the side. We're going to do the same thing to the L. They're really, really small. You don't want it to be like a line. We're going to do the same thing to the O, just a little shape on the left and the right. Same thing to this one. And the same thing to the N. Okay, they just look like little dots that kind of fall along. I guess you can do it to the S as well. Won't hurt. So it's just these little dots that kind of go across the whole word. Pretty cool. Next, let's outline this rectangle. 1, 2 lines on the side. A line around the bottom. A line at the top. Stop a little bit before you hit the skull. A line at the top. And now we're going to do like a curved line up toward the eyes and a curved line down. So just a really cool little shape here. On the sides, let's make some wagon wheels. So a wagon wheel is just going to be a nice big circle with a slightly smaller circle inside. Same thing over here. Nice big circle with a slightly smaller circle inside. And in the very middle, a small circle. And then we're going to do what's called spokes. If you have a bicycle, your bicycle tires have spokes. They help keep that tire together and keep it nice and round and give it strength. So let's do some lines. So 1 up and down, 1 up and down. Looks like a Pokeball. 1 sideways, 1 sideways. And now we're going to do 1 in the middle of each of these. So 1 up to the corner. Not that a circle has a corner, you know what I mean. Okay? Let's do it back over here. 1 up and down, 1 up and down, 1 sideways, 1 sideways, and now every one of these shapes gets cut in half. 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So those are our wagon wheels. Next, let's add a roof. So a little line here, a little line here, a little line here, a little line here, and a little line at the top. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I'm going to go up on the ones on the left, up on the ones on the right, just a little bit, and draw a line across. So this is a very long rectangle, and this is a very long rectangle. And I'm going to connect these shapes together. There's my roof. Whew, Mr. Poulos drawing buildings is a lot of rectangles, a lot of straight lines. All right, now we want to draw a line halfway up this big rectangle. We're going to draw a line across. And another one just above it. Halfway between here, right, halfway up from here, we're going to draw another line across. And another line just below it. And this is going to be our railing. So it's like a porch. Let's see how this goes. All right, we want to do some stripes. Move over and do 2 next to each other. So these are just up and down stripes to connect. Looks like a sideways ladder. Don't worry if yours aren't perfect. Again, see, some of mine are a little bit more spaced out than others. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, so it kind of looks like a sideways ladder. That's good. Next, let's make a door up here so that people could come out onto the porch. So above the railing, I'm going to come up, over, and back down. And I'm going to put a little rectangle in there. Now, any spaces in between your railing, you could finish that door. You don't have to if that's confusing, but if you have a space on your railing, you could finish that door, and you can see what that looks like now. It'll look even cooler when we color it. Next, let's add 2 windows. So that's just going to be a square or a rectangle on this side, and a square or a rectangle on this side. Inside, we're going to do a line up and down, and a line side to side. A line up and down, and a line side to side. We will make some shutters. Shutters are, you might even have them on your house, but they were like, in case of a storm, they could shut them over the window and protect the window. So at the top, a little rainbow, at the top, a little rainbow. And then we come down and back toward the window. Down and back toward the window. And these can get some stripes. We're going to do the same thing over here. Little rainbow at the top, little rainbow at the top. Down and back toward the window, down and back toward the window, and give it some stripes. Okay, now we're down to the bottom section of our saloon. So we're going to pretend this is a big column. Let's make a rectangle here, give it some space. A rectangle here, give it some space. A rectangle here, give it some space. And a rectangle right at the end. So we've got 4 rectangles. And now we're going to draw a line down, 2 lines down, 2 lines down, 1 line down. Okay, so these are our columns that are going to hold up that porch. Now, in between the columns on the end, I'm going to do railings, but I'm going to leave the one in the middle open. Okay, so here I'm going to do 2 lines across. Here I'm going to do 2 lines across. I'm going to leave the middle open. This is going to be our main door. Okay, but down here, let's do the railing again. So up and down lines to make some railings. We're going to do another window inside of each of these shapes here. So we can do our squares, 1 and 2. We're going to split those squares up, an up and down line and a sideways line, an up and down line and a sideways line. Rainbow shape, rainbow shape, rainbow shape, rainbow shape. Down and back toward the window, down and back toward the window, down and back toward the window, down and back toward the window. And now each of these gets stripes. Now the last bit of our saloon is the door. So we want to make a tall rainbow in here. And around that rainbow, let's make a rectangle. So a line up, and connect them. And we're going to make that cool saloon door that you guys probably have seen the shape if you've ever watched a Western movie. They might even have it in the Jack and Annie book. So just inside here, we're going to do a little line over, really little, a little line over here. And we're going to connect them with a rainbow. And I'm going to split my rainbow in half with a tall line. And in the middle of that line, I give it a little black circle. Now that is our saloon. Nice job following along with these steps. It was quite a bit of work. Next, what we're going to do is color these. You can color your saloon any way you like. Well, I guess it wouldn't hurt us to draw some things around the side. If you have extra space around the side, why don't we do this? We can make a cactus. Now, you don't have to follow along with Mr. Poulos. You can make your cactus any way you want. A little bit of grass. I'm going to make a tumbleweed, which is really just a little scribble here. I'm going to do my horizon line from side to side, maybe some mountains in the back. Your background might look totally different from Mr. Poulos'. That's okay. Maybe some clouds in the sky. Maybe some more cactuses really far away. And I'm just going to leave this here for you. Because I want you guys to come up with your own colors for this. So, look, this was a lot, and that's okay. Please don't be upset if this is not perfect, okay? Drawing architecture, drawing buildings, it's a lot of straight lines, it's a lot of shapes, and I'm proud of you no matter how this looks. All right, my friends, I'll see you next time. Bye.